Welcome back to Power Panel 365. This is your host, Star Coates, and tonight I'll be reading a story from the Children's Bible Stories. The name of this story is called Joseph in Potiphar's House. I hope that you're comfortable, you're resting back in your bed, you have brushed your teeth and washed your face, and you are ready to go to sleep. And even if you're not, I hope you get ready real soon. Once again, the name of this story is called Joseph in Potiphar's House. The merchants who had brought Joseph to Egypt offered him for sale in the slave market. He was called a Hebrew, which means an immigrant from the other side of the river. Joseph was brought by Potiphar, the captain of Pharaoh's guard, and taken into his household as a slave. But God took care of Joseph and guided him in all his work, so that he did well, very well, and earned promise from his Egyptian master. Soon Potiphar made Joseph his personal servant. Then he put him in charge of his whole household. Finally, he left everything he had in Joseph's care. Potiphar began to work less and less and leave more and more to his Hebrew slave. Potiphar's wife had noticed that Joseph was young and handsome. She grew more and more attracted to him. Finally, one day, she asked him to sleep with her. Joseph refused at once. "Think of my master," he said. "He was entrusting everything he has to me. I cannot betray him to take anything from him." His noble behavior made Potiphar's wife love and admire him all the more, and she kept begging him to love her. But Joseph turned his back and would have nothing to do with her. Then she grew very angry and decided to have her revenge on him. She told her husband that Joseph had come into her room and tried to love her. And as proof of this, she showed Potiphar Joseph's cloak, pretending he had left it behind in the struggle when she tried to fight to free herself from his embraces. Potiphar believed his wife's lies and was furious. He had Joseph thrown into prison. At once he was sent to the Round Tower, where Pharaoh's own prisoners were held. But here, too, God took care of Joseph, so that he soon won the confidence of the governor and was put in charge of the other prisoners in the tower. It so happened that Pharaoh's chief butler and his chief baker had angered their master and were sent to prison. They were put into the same round tower where Joseph was held, and the prison governor ordered Joseph to take care of them. He became their personal servant and was trusted by each of them, just as he had been by Potiphar. One night, when they had been in prison some time, the chief and butler and chief baker each had a dream which made them extremely frightened. They wanted to find someone who could interpret their dreams. For them, when Joseph saw how afraid they were, he said to them, "Tell me your dreams, and my God will help me interpret them." The chief butler told his dream first. "In my dream, I saw a vine from the front of me. It had 3 branches covered in buds. Then blossoms appeared on the branches, and then the blossoms ripened into grapes. Then I gathered the grapes and crushed them directly into Pharaoh's glass and gave the glass to him." Joseph said to him, "The 3 branches mean 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will call for you and restore you to your post, and you will serve him each night just as you used to do. But remember when you are free again, to tell Pharaoh about me so then I can get out of this tower. I have done nothing at all to deserve imprisonment." Then it was the chief baker's turn to tell Joseph his dream, and he was filled with hope that butler's good news. "I too had a dream," he said, "and in it were 3 baskets of white bread on my head. In the top basket there were every kind of food I have ever prepared for Pharaoh, and the birds were eating out of it, and it rested on my head." And Joseph said, "Those 3 baskets also mean 3 days. Within 3 days Pharaoh will call you, and then you will have hung from a tree until you are dead, and then the birds will come and peck away your flesh." The baker waited in terror. The first day passed, and the second day too. On the 3rd day, however, it was Pharaoh's birthday, a day on which he gave a feast for all his servants, and he ordered that the chief butler and the chief baker should be brought out of prison. When they had been led before him, he said, "I shall restore my chief butler to his post to serve me as he used to do. My chief baker, however, has done wrong and must die." The baker was sentenced to be hanged, just as Joseph had foretold, and the birds came and ate the flesh from his bones. The chief butler was delighted to be free and serving his master, but he forgot all about Joseph in prison and did not speak about him to Pharaoh. I hope you all enjoyed that story. I hope you rest well, and may the Lord bless you.